Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Lewis, and I want to share with you today how martial arts taught me how to respect myself and other people. So what you're continuously doing with martial arts is always building yourself up from a certain point. And when you're brand new to it, usually it's just point zero, just from nothing. And everyone's usually going through their own struggles of whether they're trying to get in better shape or get a better kind of mental handle on things. And one of the biggest things that you learn while studying martial arts is really the fact that you don't really know everything. You could be younger, or you could be younger like a little kid, like five or 6 years old, or you could be a little bit older, like a teenager or a young adult, or you could be a bit older as an adult, let's say 30 or 40 or 50, and just start doing martial arts. But then whenever you start, you know that you don't know that much in terms of what you're physically doing. And it's a real humbling experience, because no matter when you start, you can always see the people who have studied longer than you, even if they're significantly younger, they know more than you. And that is very apparent with the way that the more experienced people move more fluidly, or they're just more educated on the subject, and they're able to teach you different things. Even if it's been, even throughout your entire life, if you've gone through the whole notion that because you're older or because you're around longer, then you know more, or because certain people from certain areas or walks of life don't know as much, that's all thrown away, because those things don't really exist. What really exists is the fact of, if somebody works hard, then they will gain experience. Some people gain it faster than others, but guaranteed they gain experience, and they're able to help out those people who are less experienced. Now, a lot of people struggle with the notion of, while they're on this journey, whether it be martial arts or anything else, of really respecting themselves while they respect the process. So while you're actually growing, like I said, a lot of people grow in different kind of at different rates. Some people learn things rather quickly, some people pick things up slowly, and every single person, they pick up certain aspects, either fast or slow. It just depends on the individual, but a lot of people don't know that. So whether it be martial arts or anything else, when they're trying to learn something, a lot of people put themselves down, and they don't really respect themselves in terms of saying that the speed that they're learning something at is the speed that they should be learning something at, because that's who they are. And they usually fall into just the kind of self-engulfing notion that they're not great, and they usually just loathe themselves, or they usually just kind of stick with that negative attitude that they're not doing well, or they're not going as fast as they can. And it's true that they're not going as fast as they can, but at the same time, they don't know how fast they should be going or how fast they can be going, because they're on their own path, they're on their own journey. So they need to kind of just respect the rate that they're moving. And the only thing that really speeds up the process is really how much faster they're willing to work on a daily basis, so they could understand the nuances of what's going on, and then be able to apply that on a daily basis, and then just get better faster. That's really how you get better faster at anything. But a lot of people really get to just not overhyped, but just too much in their heads, that they need to be able to respect themselves. Now, a lot of people, all martial arts instructors really push this notion that you have to respect yourself, and you have to really understand where you're coming from, and you have to try to come to a more general kind of self-realization of really who you are and what you're growing your abilities for, so then you can understand and respect the process that is that you're taking. And so it's very incredibly critical to be able to respect yourself first, because that's how you're able to really help out everyone else, the people who are important in your life. That's how you're able to hit the goals that are kind of bigger than you, so to speak, because you have to respect you first. That's really what it comes down to. So essentially, everyone feels bad uh, knowing that they're not as great as they can be, or that they're not where they want to be yet. But you have to come to terms with that first. And it's very much easier said than done, but I'll throw myself under the bus and go over my own kind of experience of that. Since I was a kid, and I've been studying martial arts my whole life, is just that I struggled with a couple of notions. Everybody's got their own thing that they go through. One thing that I was just really not happy with, let's say, I would say one thing that bothered me was that I was way shorter than everybody else. Most people, I'm not the tallest person in the world. And back then, especially in high school a little bit, that used to get on my nerves, or maybe even early college. But the fact is that stuff really can't change. You know, you're kind of born with what you're born with. And what the fact is that the sooner that you realize that you are the person in control of whatever it is that you're going to do with what you have, as long as you realize you're in control of what you can do with what you have, then you start noticing that you can make a difference and moving in the direction of where you want, regardless of what you have and don't have, let's say, physically. Because a lot of things in this world, what most people are looking for, are usually attained by different facets. They're not just born with it, you know, but a lot of people want to have, you know, what's on the other side, you know, the things that they don't have. And that's a human aspect. That's fine. But going back to me, I really had to get down to the notion of just me being at least okay and accepting of myself first. And so I did. And that was a little bit of a slow process, but understanding that I'm me, and that came with a whole bunch of different, you know, notions of just what I look like, or just the mentality that I have, and just who I am as a person, and just accepting just who I am. That really helped in terms of just I'm able to move forward and just add things on top of that. Add things on top of who I am, and work towards having more of an arsenal added. Let's say it be either martial arts, or either it be professional attributes that I have, or different kinds of qualities that I wasn't good at. And because you always go from a starting point, no matter what. And there'll be there's several people out there who think they're a little bit that they think that they're too tall, or they think that they're too overweight, or they think that they don't have enough weight, or they think that they should be like this, or they should be like that. And that's completely fine, because that's how they feel. A lot of these people, they're not going to be able to move forward with where they're trying to go if that's all they think about. That this is what I don't have, and this is what I have right now. This is what I don't have, and this is what I have right now. This is when usually people, even myself that I've done in the past, where you get just stuck in kind of just this box that you make on your own. And it's really ridiculous. And the fact is that you can move in whatever kind of direction you want, whether you have a lot of money or you don't have money, or whether you have a lot of this or that. It doesn't matter. It's kind of like the duality of things. Whether you have stuff or don't, doesn't matter. What matters most is really what you're doing now in terms of pushing you towards where you want to be. A lot of this kind of thing with self-improvement, and a lot of things dealing with martial arts and in general in life, really comes with respecting yourself first as a person. And that's not really the easiest thing to do. This is not just a light switch thing kind of do. But the first thing starting and recognizing that is respecting yourself as a person, as to what you have, for who you are, and what you don't have, or what you're trying to be. And then taking that and really just adding little by little, moving in the direction of where you would want to go. So that really helps in terms of for you accomplishing whatever you're trying to accomplish. Now, that helps me a lot, and I've learned that lesson quite a long time ago, and I feel really blessed for knowing that and learning that, and continuously learning on top of that notion and that lesson, because it really helps with when I'm dealing with other people, for you to understand yourself and for you to understand how much you're still discovering about yourself is for you to give the same kind of respect to other people that you don't know and that you know a lot less about, and for you to have much more empathy and patience so then you can help them deal with their problems. Or if you don't want to help deal with their problems, that's fine. If you want to have an interaction with somebody else, and if they're being problematic, or if they're being just not cool, or if they're somebody who's just kind of seemingly like a douchebag or something like that, for you to have the empathy and patience to kind of just help them with their world, to be able to just be a part of their day, or to just be a part of their situation, where it would kind of help them out, or just where you would either help them out, or just not make the situation worse, where you would help the situation at least and not be a problem in their life. You see? So it's important to be able to understand that you need to have a kind of respect for yourself, because then you become more open in terms of what you can learn and what you can do. And the same thing of you understanding that you have a respect for yourself, to understand that you need to have that kind of notion and open-mindedness for other people, so then when they bring problems to you in your life or towards you, it's not like you're just trying to push them away. It's like you're understanding that they're coming from a notion that they're trying to do the same thing, that they're trying to have a respect for themselves and try to be able to, deal with their own problems. And it's good to be able to, let's say, most of the time, because this is what I'm gonna preach to you guys. You don't have to, but is to be able to try to aid other people in terms of their own struggles for what they're trying to accomplish. A lot of us are looking at the world through a specific kind of our own kind of pair of eyes. We're all looking at the same piece of art in a different kind of way, through our own eyes. But there's no reason to be able to not be empathetic towards your neighbor or the person who's actually making problems, because essentially maybe they're just somebody who's looking for help also. And so that's really what we need to do. A lot of martial artists know, a lot of experienced martial artists know, that people are always dealing with something. Essentially, you're always dealing with an internal struggle. The more experienced people just know how to deal with their internal struggles better. And also experienced martial artists know that when you're dealing with other people and other people are having problems and they seemingly try to spread it out towards the world, then it's not because they're necessarily bad people, but they're also trying to figure things out. So why not help them figure things out? Why not be a part of, let's say, throw them some positivity, or if they're having some kind of struggle, internal or external, see if you can help out if they want to have the help. And that's really that. Dealing with yourself and dealing with other people, it's a continuous game of being able to understand yourself and others, and being able to have a more kind of positive outlook and make a positive outlook on the world, and kind of make the world more positive in general. And that's a big lesson that I learned from martial arts. So respect yourselves and respect others. Do what you need to do to make sure you understand yourself better on a daily basis, small pieces at a time. And the same thing for your neighbor or your friend or your coworker. Try to understand them little by little, so then you can kind of live in better harmony. And that's me. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.